My name is David Goda. I'm the Managing Director for eSavvy. We're a certified gold Dynamics CRM partner for those of us who don't know you, or for those of you who don't know us. So this is the first of our webinar series for this summer. We had a bit of a hiatus over the July-August time frame, and we're starting back up in September now. So the first presentation in this webinar series is the top 5+1 reasons and examples of why companies use Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So the agenda that I had prepared today is just to go through some brief introductions, to talk about the challenges around Dynamics CRM and around just the industry in general, do a little bit of background on Dynamics CRM, and then go through the top 5 reasons of why people use Dynamics CRM, and I'll give you a few examples of each. And then we'll just talk a little bit about eSavvy, and then I'll go through, see if there's any questions at the end. So just some introductions. My name is David Goda. I'm the Managing Director for eSavvy. I've been running eSavvy for the last 4 years. Before that, I was the Regional Sales Director for Microsoft Dynamics for Microsoft in Asia Pacific. So I traveled all through Asia Pacific helping sell and deliver Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Before that, I was actually a Microsoft Consulting Services Practice for Dynamics in Australia and New Zealand. And before that, I worked for a global systems integrator called Bearing Point, specializing in CRM products. So who is eSavvy? Well, the first thing is we're a specialist in Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We're a gold certified partner, one of about 4 or 5 in Australia. We are recognized for our expertise. We recently won the Asia Pacific, we actually regionally won the Worldwide Partner of the Year award for Dynamics Cloud. We were also CRM Partner of the Year this year for Microsoft Australia. We were also CRM Partner of the Year last year for Microsoft Australia. And we also were part of what they refer to as Inner Circle, which meant that we were the top 20 Microsoft partners globally. This slide is a bit old. We actually have experience in more than 200 deployments of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We've worked with a number of major accounts, which includes the likes of Kudo, Servcorp, Hunter New England Health, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Sony, Accor Hotels, Jet Set Travel, and many, many others. We perceive ourselves to be leaders in the CRM deployment methodology known as SureStep. So we teach other partners in its use. Last year I taught some 200 different consultants across the channel how to do CRM deployment methodologies. And satisfied customers is our goal. So as part of our gold certification, Microsoft requires us to conduct an independent survey of our customers once a year. That's conducted by an independent firm who basically go out and survey all our customers. 2 years in a row, 100% of our customers surveyed said that they would recommend us, 100% said that they would refer to us, 100% said that they would use our services again. So it's a pretty good customer service stat. So what's the challenge? The business environment is changing. They talk about, a lot with the election looming this Saturday, a lot of people have talked about the fact that the economy is changing. Australia is becoming less focused on mining and more focused on trying to derive the rest other parts of the economy. I think also business has changed. For those of you who are not aware, there's a TV show called Mad Men. It's won quite a few Emmy Awards in the U.S. It's basically a biopic of business in the 1960s and 70s. And it's interesting to watch. You look back then, it was time to relax. People had cocktails in the afternoon. There was a mini bar in the office, dinner parties every night. There was no internet or Facebook. And the most complex piece of technology they were using was a typewriter. These days, businesses have shrinking budgets, increasing targets. It's a tougher business environment. And they have increasingly sophisticated target audiences who use a multitude of technologies to take a decision. The internet and social networking are becoming dominant in terms of people's decisions, in terms of how to purchase the solutions and services. And bringing your own device is becoming a dominant fixture of most IT environments. What that means is that people these days expect to be able to walk in with their iPad or their Android tablet or their Microsoft Windows tablet and have any software or tool set work with that. So people really expect, an always-on approach, being able to access their information in a multitude of ways and through a multitude of channels. And the systems are becoming much more complex, and buyers are becoming much more complex in terms of how they purchase. So what is Microsoft Dynamics CRM in that context? Well, Dynamics CRM is a full relationship management suite. It's in its 5th release. Actually, it's coming up on its 6th release now. The product's been out in the industry for about 14 years. This slide's a bit old, actually. There are close to 3 million users of the solution worldwide across 80 different countries for 40 different languages. Over 40,000 customers from small, medium to enterprise use the tool set. There are over 1,200 partners delivering CRM solutions. Obviously, if a customer chose to go with Dynamics CRM and they chose to use eSavvy as their services delivery partner, we wouldn't want them to go anywhere else. But they can take solace in the fact that they do have multiple services delivery partners that they can work with. A lot of the other competing solutions typically have their own vendor consultants, or they have a very, very limited partner channel. In the case of Microsoft, Microsoft have a very well-developed partner channel around Dynamics CRM. There are deployments of Dynamics CRM as large as 40,000 users in Australia. There's well over 3,000 to 4,000 customers of Dynamics CRM in Australia. And the solution itself is certified scalable up to 150,000 concurrent users, which is the highest scalability limit of all the CRM products out there at the moment. If you don't believe Dynamics CRM is a leader, if you don't believe us, Dynamics CRM is a leader, then believe the analyst firms. So Gartner and Forrester Research. These are two independent analyst firms who study many IT products, including CRM. The way these charts work, you have what they call the Gartner Magic Quadrant and the Forrester Wave, and the way these charts work is the farther up and to the right you are, the more highly placed you are as a solution. You can't see all the names on the charts, but we've circled where Microsoft are placed in those charts, and you can see that Microsoft are fairly highly ranked for Salesforce automation, contact center, customer service, marketing, and also the enterprise for CRM products. Key differentiator in terms of Microsoft Dynamics CRM is this concept of the power of choice. A lot of CRM solutions focus on the cloud as a delivery model, or some only offer on-premise. Microsoft offers you a number of different choices. So first of all, you can choose how you want to buy the solution, so you can do it as a pay-as-you-go subscription. Right now, you can get a CRM Online license for $44.40 per user per month. That's the street price. If you're on an enterprise agreement with Microsoft, you can probably do better than that. You can do pay as you go, or you can pay for the software up front. If you want to buy the software up front, you can still amortize the payments out using Microsoft Finance. You can choose how you get the solution, so you can either have it as an on-premise or as a partner-deployed solution, or you can get it cloud-based, hosted by Microsoft. And you can choose how you use the tool set. So you can access it completely from within Outlook. You can access it through the web. You can also get, there's a number of different mobility options, and you can also go offline with the offline client and then synchronize back on with the CRM database when you have connectivity. So what are the main reasons and examples of why companies use Microsoft Dynamics CRM? Well, reason number one is that it's a tool set that works completely from within Outlook. Even with the advent of a number of different technologies, Outlook is still the dominant email client out there in the industry, with some 70 to 80% of different organizations using that tool to manage their email. And Dynamics CRM as a tool set works completely from within Outlook. The Outlook add-in or CRM client was actually developed by the Microsoft Outlook team, so you're not going to get a much better integration between your email tool set and a CRM system. What that means is that because it's fully integrated with Outlook, you can take advantage of all the Outlook capabilities in terms of conditional formatting, laying out of the user interface. But what it also means is that you have a single-click integration in terms of emails, activities, meetings, phone calls, tasks. Anything that you're doing in your email system can be automatically synchronized to your CRM system. So that avoids a lot of double keying, and it means that all the information is sitting there at your fingertips. With Dynamics CRM, you also have enhanced navigation and an enhanced user interface. So you have this concept of a ribbon where wherever you go in the tool set, there are contextual-based options that you can use. There's also a full inline help menu that you can have access to, that wherever you go in the system, it will provide you with help. You can also go through and look at your favorite views, or your more commonly used views or records, and you can pin a record, for example, and go back to that record if there's something that you use, a record that you use more frequently. So, in summary then, the first reason why people are using Microsoft Dynamics CRM, again, is because it works completely from within Outlook. That means easier end-user adoption. The product has an office look and feel, which typically means that you can learn the product in hours as opposed to days, with other CRM tool sets that have a different look and feel. You can configure the system easily to a user's needs, so you can make it look and have them present the information that they want to see. One of the things that you can have access to as well is easy-to-use dashboards, analytics, and reports. So you can render all these dashboards and reports completely from within Outlook. You have ease of access to the tool set, so you can access it online or on-premise or partner-hosted. You have a number of different mobility options. The tool set fully supports mobile, so Internet Explorer, but also Chrome, Firefox, and a number of different other browsers. And there's this concept of the laptop client or the offline client that you can use. It's basically a tool set that's going to be very, very easy to configure to your specific needs. So what's an example, a couple examples of using it completely from within Outlook? Well, for example, for eSavvy, we use it for our sales literature tool. So you have the ability, because your CRM system is integrated with Outlook, that if we're sending a customer a note or a product data sheet on a particular product, we can store all those product data sheets from within CRM, and we can just a single click send those through to the end customer. We also have a number of customers who are using the tool set from within Outlook. For example, Jet Set Travel, they're heavy users of Dynamics CRM. All their internal consultants and people who manage their the discussions with their agents use the tool set from Outlook because it makes it easy to track all that agent communication. So reason number 2 why people use Microsoft Dynamics CRM is that it improves customer service. So the concept here is that within Dynamics CRM you can have one tool set where you can get a complete 360-degree view of the customer. So you can have a single screen where you can go in, you can see all the activities going on, you can see all their Twitter feeds activity, you can see anything that's going on from them as a business, external to their external market factors that are impacting them. But you can also see any activities that are going on between your organization and theirs. So you can see any customer complaints, any cases, any activities. If there's a sales if yours is a sales organization, you can see any invoices or orders. You can see any email communication, any meetings, anything that's going on with that particular customer. It gives you a complete view of what's going on around that customer or that account that you're dealing with. You also have the ability to manage complex workflow processes. So, for example, we have some customers like Kudo, the group buying network, or Garmin, who use Dynamics CRM for their customer service. They have complex, they have cases or requests that come in from customers. They have to be allocated to various work centers. They do that through the queue management capability within Dynamics CRM. So you have the ability to have workflows and queues. You can manage tasks through the various queues to going through the various departments. You can have workflows that will automate that process, that will allocate the task to the appropriate department, allocate that case to the appropriate department, that will escalate it if it's not being actioned, and will basically manage that whole workflow process for you. You also have the ability in Dynamics CRM to use something that they refer to as a dialogue. Now, dialogues to me is quite an interesting feature of the tool set and very unique to this particular product. Essentially what a dialogue is it's a structured, scripted process. So essentially, and there's a screenshot here which is an example of a dialogue. What you can do is, and you can use this for customer service, or you can use this in a sales context or in a marketing context, or you can use this in a government context in terms of an inbound call from a citizen. Basically, the idea here is that you have a single screen. The tool set will ask you questions. As you answer those questions, that will determine the next set of questions. As you're going through and giving answers to those next set of questions, it will determine the next set. And all the while that you're doing that, the tool set can be doing various things, and the screen can be doing various things in the system. For example, it can be creating records, it can be sending out an email. So this dialogue tool set allows you to have a very, very structured process. So for example, you could use that to manage an inbound call. You could use it to qualify a lead. You could use it to manage an inbound question from, say, a student if you're an education entity. And you can basically have everything in one screen. People do not have to navigate anywhere else in the tool set. And the tool set will basically ask and answer questions, so you can have a very, very structured process flow through your call center. So it's another capability of the tool set. So just to sum up then, in terms of this reason why people buy Dynamics CRM in terms of improving customer service, they do that for a number of reasons. One, because it provides you with that 360-degree view of the customer, the contact, or account. It allows you to manage high volumes of complaints and cases fairly easily. It improves throughput and efficiency through queue management and workflow management. You can automate your process through the use of workflows and dialogues. And the one thing that I didn't mention in the previous slides, but there's also an integration with the customer portal that you can use as well from a self-service perspective. Here's just some examples of some customers who are actually using Dynamics CRM from a customer service perspective. So in terms of customer service processes, again, another example, an example for that would be eSavvy ourselves. We have a number of major accounts who use us for supporting their CRM system. These include Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Norfolk, Boral, Shadforth Financial, Jet Set Travel, and New South Wales Health, a government agency. And whenever a support case comes in through the system, it gets allocated as by a workflow process, gets managed through a queue. There's an automatic email notification that goes out to the various people who are managing that queue. There's also an escalation process with regards to that workflow. So that that's an example. Our own support desk is an example of using Dynamics CRM for customer service. As I said, we've got a number of other customers who are using it from a customer service perspective. These include Garmin, who use it for their inbound call center. They have a split call center between Australia and Asia. It also includes Steinhoff, which is Freedom Furniture. They use it, and also Pluto, the group buying network. Reason number 3, that reason why people use Dynamics CRM, is that it helps boost sales conversion rates. With Dynamics CRM, you're going to get a full dashboarding and reporting capability. The tool set's going to allow you to manage your pipeline, see how many leads and opportunities are in your pipeline, be able to see performance for various sales reps or owners in the organization. It also allows you to have a structured sales process, so you can have a very structured and constructed sales process throughout your whole selling. You can have workflows associated with that. You can use it for structured buying from a B2B perspective. You can integrate it with various sales methodologies tools, for example, Miller-Heiman is one example. The tool set also allows you to manage complex relationships through connections. One of the challenges that a lot of customers have is that when they're trying to manage their own customers, they're trying to understand those relationships. For example, a particular person works for a company, but they may also be married to someone else who works for another company who may be an influencer in terms of a particular sales cycle. There may also be multiple points of contact within your organization to that customer. So Dynamics CRM allows you through this tool set called Connections to be able to manage complex relationships across multiple different customers, all the different contacts within that customer, and then multiple points of contact within your organization. The other thing that Microsoft Dynamics CRM allows you to do is manage performance through a capability called goals. So within Dynamics CRM, there's this concept of goals. Basically, any transaction that happens in the CRM system could be tracked as a goal. So a goal could be revenue-based, could be number of phone calls made per week, it could be time to resolve a customer service issue, it could be a number of different things. The idea here is that you can create goals in the system. Those goals can roll up from individual sales reps into, for example, a sales manager. Those goals can then be folded into our charts and graphs, which are then rendered into a dashboard within CRM, and then people can basically see what's going on. What I like to say is that Dynamics CRM provides you with blistering clarity in terms of how your business is performing. So people can see real-time exactly what's going on at an individual level and also at a group level. You also have the ability within Dynamics CRM from a sales management perspective to manage flexible activities. So obviously, as part of the Outlook integration and the email integration, you can manage emails, Word documents as tasks, meetings, and those kind of things. The standard ones, phone calls, can all be managed as activities in CRM. But you can also create flexible activities. For example, you could have an activity that's preparing a bid or a sales deal review or whatever. Those various activities can be managed in CRM. They can be moved through queues. They can be assigned to individuals. Those tasks or activities would then show up in their Outlook as a task or activity. So it allows you to have a much more structured process. So in summary then, why do people purchase Dynamics CRM? Again, it helps sales performance. And the way it does that is through full sales and pipeline management, mapping and managing of complex customer relationships, goal management, and then there's a full sales activity management that you can use. And here are some examples of customers who are using Dynamics CRM for sales productivity. Some of the ones like Best Buy, Mercedes-Benz. Helping boost sales conversion rates. So we have a number of different customers that are using Dynamics CRM for lead management, who basically manage their marketing through Dynamics CRM, pulling all their leads in through the system and allocating them out to the various sales individuals. We ourselves as a company use Dynamics CRM for lead management. So any customer who calls in or prospect that calls in automatically gets created as a lead in the system. That lead gets followed up and qualified. and then that lead will get allocated out amongst the various salespeople in the organization. That means that all the interactions with potential prospects are trapped, and we have a response time of less than 4 hours in terms of when someone gets responded back to when a new lead is generated in the system. So what's the fourth reason why people use Microsoft Dynamics CRM? Well, it improves marketing ROI and helps generate new prospects. And it's interesting, but this concept of marketing can apply to a variety of different industries. It can apply in terms of your general commercial industry, in terms of just attracting new customers, but it also applies, for example, in education, where education institutions are trying to attract new students to attend their schools, or it can apply to government agencies who are trying to communicate out to a lot of their constituents. So some of the core email marketing capabilities that Dynamics CRM provides, for example, is email marketing. So you have this ability to create very complex and good-looking emails that go out to your customers or your prospects or your contacts. Those emails can have dynamic content. So, for example, if the particular person you're sending the email to is based out of Melbourne and they're male, then they might get a picture of an AFL footy player. But if they're based out of New South Wales and Sydney, maybe they get a picture, and they're female, maybe they get a picture of the beach or something like that. You can have something that's very, very targeted to that customer in terms of the way that the email looks and the content that it provides. You also have the ability to do complex surveys, so you can survey your customers. You can use that information from a marketing perspective. Those surveys can be embedded in emails. They can be embedded in websites. And the surveys can have skip logic, so you have the ability to tailor the survey specifically to those customers, so you can get market intelligence in terms of what your customers are interested in, what your prospects are interested in. The toolset also allows you to turn your website into an active lead generation tool. A lot of people think that when they go to a website, they're anonymous. They're not. As soon as you hit any person's website, your activity is being tracked and it can be monitored. So the idea here is if someone comes onto your website and they're looking at specific information, at some point they may identify themselves. That history of what they've been looking at in their website can then be tracked, and you can use that to have a more quality conversation with that person. So, for example, if you're a school and they've come on and they're looking at a particular course, and that information can be trapped in the system so that when you generate them as a lead and may perhaps do a follow-up phone call, you know that they're interested in that particular course, you know that they've come back to your website several times, and that they're interested in that particular product. So this allows you to have a much more richer conversation because of that full integration with your website as a lead generation tool. One of the biggest things these days with regards to marketing is the expectation set that marketers more fully qualify the people that they're talking to before handing them over to a sales organization. So with Dynamics CRM, you have the ability to do what they call automated lead nurturing and lead scoring. The idea here is that the system will act in an automatic fashion, respond to that particular lead or contact that comes in, provide them with feedback, interact with them, and in doing that process, start to assign a score to them in terms of their interest level. Once that score goes over a certain number, then that might indicate that at that point a person can actually give them a direct phone call. So, for example, you could have someone come on the website, they might register, then you might automatically send them an email. They might take a look at that email. If they click through that email, you might send them another email. If they click through that email again, but there's specific content in that email that they've clicked through, you might send them something else or give them some documentation that's specific to the content that they're interested in. All the while you're tracking that score, and all the while when they get to a point where you know that they're definitely an interested prospect, then at that point you can hand them over to sales. So this lead nurturing and lead scoring capability allows you to more fully qualify the prospect or the lead before they're handed over to a sales person or a customer service person to talk to. Dynamics CRM also provides you with full social CRM capabilities. The way I look at or talk about social CRM is I talk about external CRM and external social networking and internal social networking. So in terms of external social networking, we talk about LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook integration, social monitoring what people think about you. If there's a negative comment, then following up with that as a case or complaint. If there's a positive commenting, then tweeting on that, seeing what the people feel about your organization. You can also use it as a lead generation tool. In terms of internal social networking, the idea here is managing complexity and internal collaboration. So within Dynamics CRM, you have the ability to follow things just like you can follow things on your Facebook account. So in Dynamics CRM, you could follow a particular contact or account or a lead or opportunity or case or complaint. And what the system will do is it'll give you proactive notifications about anything that happens with that particular record in CRM. You can then comment on that. You can start collaborating internally and putting posts back and forth, asking questions and that kind of thing. So the tool set allows you to manage complexity internal to your business if you have a lot of customer contacts, leads, or other things that you need to manage. So in terms of one of the key reasons why people buy Dynamics CRM, which is improved marketing performance and generating new customers, concepts here like we talked about, full integration with your website. Some of the things we didn't cover off in the slides, but are very pertinent, are things like being able to do a dynamic marketing list, so be able to have targeted marketing, have full closed loop marketing with ROI measurement, so the toolset provides you the capability to analyze the benefits you're getting across various marketing campaigns. You have full email marketing with Inbox Preview and dynamic content as well. You have the ability to preview the email across a number of different devices and email clients to see how it's going to look. You can do automated lead nurturing and lead scoring. You have a full website integration and analytics. You can have automated contextual-based emails. You can also use text as another marketing form of communication. And you can create landing pages, questionnaires, and forms. The marketing folks can do that themselves. So some examples of customers who are using Dynamics CRM from a marketing perspective. And what's another example of email management? So several of the education institutions or the schools are using Dynamics CRM from a marketing perspective to manage communications through to their students. We, eSavvy, as an organization, we use that so that all the emails that you would have received from us inviting you to this webinar, for example, would have been done through Dynamics CRM and would have been done through dynamic content, would have been tracked and managed that way. And the fifth and last reason why people use Dynamics CRM is because it makes customization and reporting very easy. So the first thing about Dynamics CRM, it's a very, very flexible platform. As a tool set, you can think of it much like your iPhone, where you can download various apps to provide out various capabilities. You can do the same with Dynamics CRM as a platform. You can basically download various solutions. There's a website called Microsoft Dynamics Marketplace, where you can get various industry-specific solutions that you can download on top of the toolset. It's also very easy to customize and configure. So, for example, you can have role-tailored forms in the system. So when someone logs in to look at, for example, a contact, depending on their job function, they may get a different view of that contact compared to someone else. So the data is specific to them. This gives you a number of benefits. First of all, obviously, it's easier for people to use the toolset because it's a tailored experience. Second, you can control the information. So, for example, if there's certain information that's a higher security, you may restrict that to other folks with a different view or form for that particular contact. You also have really deep and rich dashboarding and inline visualization capabilities. So the top left-hand diagram is an example of a dashboard. Dashboards can be customized by the end users and shared amongst end users. And the diagram at the bottom is an example of an inline visualization where there's actually a chart embedded in the data that you're using. If you change the data on the left-hand side, the chart on the right-hand side changes. If you change the chart on the right-hand side, the data on the left-hand side changes. So you get really, really rich reporting and visualization capabilities. All these charts and graphs are easy to configure. End users can do them themselves. They can make as many charts and graphs as they want, and they can share them amongst themselves. So with Dynamics CRM, you get advanced customization and configuration reporting at your fingertips. It facilitates a dynamic business. In the olden days of IT, once you put a system in, it was like concrete. You couldn't change it. With Dynamics CRM, you can change the system as your business changes. Things like fields and forms, entities, menus, dashboards, these are all configuration activities that a reasonably skilled business analyst can undertake, as are things like workflows, dialogues, and queues. Many of the reporting requirements can be handled through views. There's also a reporting wizard that you can have access to as well if the dashboards and charts aren't enough. There's also an advanced find tool set that allows you to do complex what-if analysis and turn those into marketing lists if you want to communicate outbound to those people. There's also full integration with Excel. So basically, you can integrate all the data that you have in CRM with an Excel spreadsheet. You can dynamically update that Excel spreadsheet directly from CRM without having to go into the CRM toolset. So it allows you to use Excel as a much more powerful reporting tool. And if that's all not enough, Dynamics CRM is underlined by what they refer to as SQL reporting services, which provide you with full analytical reporting capability and OLAP analysis in terms of developing multidimensional cubes. So an example of making customization and reporting easy. As I said, there's a number of different solutions you can pick up on Dynamics Marketplace to satisfy various needs. For example, in eSavvy's case, we've actually used our CRM system to manage our own projects. So all the timesheeting, all the billing, all the project management, all the engagement management is all done through the CRM toolset simply because it was very easy for us to build out that capability within the toolset. So it is a very, very flexible tool that you can morph into a variety of different uses. Some of the more interesting uses that I've seen, Police Integrity Commission is one of our customers. They use it to manage their investigations. New South Wales Health, they use it to manage their HR department in terms of their communication around various business issues. We've got some customers who have 10 or 15 different applications that they use internal to their organization that are based on Dynamics CRM as a platform because of the fact that it's so easy to customize and use. And finally, the bonus reason why people use Dynamics CRM, I'll pick Dynamics CRM, is that's going to be your lowest total cost solution. If you go out in the market, you can do a Google right now, Google or Bing, and basically search on Dynamics CRM pricing and the competitive CRM solution pricing. Right now, Microsoft Dynamics CRM is being offered at $44.40 per user per month for the online version. If you buy the on-premise version, the pricing will be different depending on your own, depending on you as a customer. But then if you go and search at a lot of the other competitive products, typically the price points for their solution are in the $120 to $130 range for comparative functionality. Why is Microsoft able to offer the software at a lower price? Well, one, they get economies of scale. Two, they own their own data centers in terms of delivering the solution from a CRM Online perspective. And three, they use partners for their sales and marketing. So that means that from a delivery perspective, they have a lot lower costs than a lot of the competition does. The other thing you can do in terms of costing is you can use Microsoft provides something what they refer to as Microsoft Finance. Basically, this means if you want to, you can pay for the software and the services up front. But then you can amortize the cost of both the software and the services to do the deployment to make them more closely match the benefits that you're getting out of the system. So, for example, if you want to buy the system now, but you're not expecting to get benefits out for 12 to 18 months, then you can manage the payment cycle so that you actually pay for the solution in 12 to 18 months. Obviously, this is subject to credit approval through Microsoft, but Microsoft Financing provides very preferential credit terms. So, in summary, why are a lot of customers purchasing Dynamics CRM? Well, the first thing is it's got an easy-to-use native Outlook Office user interface. It means that you can typically pick the system up in hours as opposed to days because it looks very similar to a lot of the other Microsoft products that you use. It's very flexible. It's easy to configure. It means that it can change as your business change. Because it is flexible and easy to configure, it also means it's going to be lower cost from a services deployment perspective. Microsoft also offers the software at a lower cost as well, so it means it's going to be a much lower cost, a lower TCO option. You have a number of different options in terms of how you want to pay for the software. Whether you want to buy it up front but amortize the payments out, or you can use a pay-as-you-go model. There's a number of different ways that you can actually pay for the software. So that's it for the webinar for today. I'll just open up for questions in a minute. But if you want to look at join some of the other eSavvy webinars, you can do so by going up to our website and go into the events section. We run a regular webinar once every 2 to 3 weeks, and there's going to be various topics throughout the year from using Dynamics CRM specifically for sales, specifically for marketing, and then we're going to do some vertical special webinars around education, government, some other areas as well. Also looking at Dynamics CRM and how you can use it with Office 365 and various other Microsoft products. If you have any questions or you want to schedule a personalized demo, you can call one of the numbers on the screen, or you can just ping us an email and we'll respond back. And that's it. So I'm just going to open it up for questions. Let's see if I can do this now. I think everyone should have their audio on now so they can all talk. So did anyone have any questions that they wanted to ask? No questions?
No.
All right. Well, then I just wanted to thank you for your time. Appreciate that. And join us in 2 weeks' time for our next webinar. Thank you very much for your time.